this is a funnel, or it can be a hat that doesn't stay on the head. I'm going to read a verse, some verses you all know. It's Matthew 7, 13, 14. Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate that is broad, and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate, and narrow the road that leads to life, and only if you find it. Now, many of you have heard these verses before, and until this week, I've always looked at it as a narrow road and wide road. But J. Vernon McGee had a totally different perspective, which makes sense, but I never heard of. He said the narrow road is like a funnel. You start out on the narrow path, and the further you go, the greater the blessings from God, and things just open up and leads to eternal life. Now, if you go in the wide road or funnel, it eventually narrows down to nothing and leads to death. But it makes sense, but I'm going to stick with the highway, byway. Now, what I need, first of all, when you're on the narrow road, you're under a sphere of God's protection. So when you're going down the narrow road, God's watching out for you, and He's got you covered. So pick out a balloon. I'll hold this. Pick out any one of the balloons, hand it to her. Tell me what it says. Okay, what does that say?
Going in the right direction.
When you're under God's care, you will be going in the right direction. And if you don't go in the right direction, you will go off the path. Now, this is very dangerous. Now, this represents darkness. This represents Satan. Satan doesn't want you to stay on the right path. So, whoops. So, when you get off the road, narrow road, Satan is going to try to get you off it. So, when you're going the right way, Satan is going to do what he can to knock you off and go a different direction. Pick another one out. Let me do this one. I'm right-handed. What does that say?
Trials and
Trials.
Trials and tribulations.
We will go through trials and tribulations of life. But when we are in the sphere of God's protection, we will get through our trials and tribulations. But if we're not on the narrow path and you're on the wide path, when you go through trials and tribulations, that's what happens when you're under God's care. What other color do we have?
Pink, yellow.
Give me a pink one. And that says?
Discussions.
Decisions. What school do you go to? No, I'm a sloppy printer, so if she can read my what it says, I'm impressed. As we go through life and we're on the narrow path, we have to make decisions. When we are in God's sphere, we will make the right decisions. But when we get off on the wide road, what happens? Another one, the yellow one. This is the best part of the service.
Yellow, red, and white.
I do that one. What does that say?
Bumpy road.
When you go down the bumpy road, on the narrow road, God will smooth out those bumps to make life easier. But if we are on the wide road, yes, that happens. Let's do one more, the red one. And that says, now have faith in you on this one.
Storms.
Storms. When you go through storms in life, and you're in the sphere of God, He will not let Satan attack you. One more. This is the last one, I think.
No, there's two more.
Well, that's a backup in case I mess up. Now you hold this. Now what I'm going to do, me, I get the big needle. Now, this represents the Spirit of God. God has you covered. So, when Satan comes after you, hopefully, I can do this. God will protect you. But remember, when you get off the path, outside the narrow road, you go on the wide road, that's what happens. So, you stay under God's care, and you stay on the narrow path, God's got you covered. Thank you, you did a great job.